Now then, people, welcome to the Just Joe Football Show. Sorry, I'm just laughing at all these comments here, having a go at me for letting the dog out and that, man. Get off me back. I hope you're all doing well. We've got loads to get through. Yes, I was just in Cage's chat as well. Big up to each and every one of you that are already waiting patiently. I know I'm like nearly 10 minutes late. That's not the best, is it? My apologies. Oh, my Wi-Fi's gone all dodgy now as well. Stick with it. Just bear with us 1 sec. That should sort of sell out. Oh, I'm smashing the gaff up and everything. That'll sort itself out. It's just going to do it in just a second and I'll be in HD for you. There you go. It should be sorted. Right, cool. We've got loads to get through. Not least, first of all, of course, it's here we go time, right? Raphinha, it's done. Just like I told you the other day, and people in my... Do you know what? I can't lie to you, right? I said, Raphinha, Barca, done. Yeah, done. And then we've seen some sort of like madness going down from Barcelona, didn't we? And we were like, oh, what's going on? And I was thinking, it's not going to go through, you know. I can't deal with this. I want this Raphinha saga done. But trust me, when Fabrizio Romano rubber stamps it with here we go, it means here we go. Yeah, done. Raphinha to Barcelona, here we go. Full agreement reached with Leeds after today's bid accepted. 58 million fixed fee plus add-ons with a total up to 67 million. I've seen a lot of people annoyed, right? This is pounds, right? It's not euros, yeah? We are getting clarification that it is pounds, right? Or is it not? Is it not? Is it not? Is it not? I'm just seeing here. 49.1 million guaranteed add-ons could take the total fee up to 57.6. What? No worries, Cage. Don't worry about it, brother. Is it euros? Are we really talking euros? Because that's not great, is it? 49. So that means we've got less than 100 million for them too. Oh, that's not great. Obviously, this has just happened on the fly. Do you know what it is, though? Like, I seen Cagey say it at the time as well. It's like, draw a line under it, it's done. At the end of the day, there is people out there that work in these roles, you know what I mean? They know what they're doing. Whatever, look, Leeds United were never going to accept a bid less than what Chelsea were giving them. What's the point? Do you see what I'm saying? What's the point in doing that? And we believe Chelsea's were up to 60 million, right? Yeah? So, look, just draw a line under it. It's done, innit? He's gone to Barca. I guess it's more like, I've seen some people make this claim on social media and I sort of agree with it. I'm just glad it's done. Like, I can't wait to see the back of him. Which is mad when you consider what he's done for us. And he will always be like, you know, someone that I will admire, and I can enjoy his career now, right? I can enjoy his career. I can't stand Barca. Any sort of affinity I had towards them in terms of I just liked Barca, right? You liked football clubs, Barca or one of them, but yeah, that's gone. Laputa can do one as well. Deco can do one as well. But yeah, look, man, Raphinha, I hope he goes and does well and smashes it, right? That's what it's about. So go do that. Smash a like on this video as well while you're at it, yeah? Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, get your comments in. But like, when one door closes, another one opens, right? So now Leeds United they need to get that striker in, and now we have the money, yeah? So I'm expecting fast movement, yeah? I am, because we've seen with the Calvin scenario, we had Calvin deal done on the Monday. By Wednesday or Thursday, we had 2 players in the door. I still think we might get 2 more. I believed it was just one, being the striker, but I think Leeds United are in the hunt for a left-back. And the links to Chris Richards, which we'll talk about in a sec, show me that, you know, show me that. And even if it is just like small talk, it's the fact that you know, it's out there now that Leeds United are considering options, yeah? And we'll have a chat about Chris Richards and whether or not he'd be a fit, because he's predominantly a centre-back, right? I understand the move because he can play anywhere across the back line, you know what I mean? He can literally play left-back, right-back, centre-back. It's a good option to have. But I've said before, we're stacked at centre-back. I'll tell you what, let's do Chris Richards first before we move on to the strikers. So, Chris Richards then, yeah. Ben Jacobs, who for me is one of them that I trust in terms of when they report. He said that Marsh is still considering USA men's national team defender Chris Richards. You know my thoughts on this whole USA, United States of Leeds kind of chat. I'm all for it, man. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Nah, listen, it doesn't matter where they're from. I know people are getting hung up on it. You know, even with the Leipzig Salzburg, it doesn't matter to me. If they can play football, that's all that matters to me. And Chris Richards can play football, right? You know what I mean? So there isn't just interest from Leeds United in Chris Richards. There is interest from Southampton, Palace, plus a number of Spanish clubs. The key part in this is that he can play centre-back, right-back and left-back. But again, it comes back to that argument, isn't it? Like, don't get a centre-back that can play left-back. Just get a left-back. They're not that hard to find. I was watching Cage's video and we mentioned it as well the other day about Reguilon. You know, he's available at Liverpool. Could we put a loan in for him? I think Seville want him. But there's options out there is the point that's being made. You know what I mean? We know Connor's feelings on Charlie Taylor, and I'd also bring Charlie Taylor in as well as an option because I think it'd be cheap. There's options out there. Tagliafico was going for like 5 million by all accounts. Again, there's a lot of top clubs in for him, but we can enter the hunt, right? Now, the logic of Marsh's when it comes to Richards is that he's of the perspective that he can be used as a fullback, right? And Leeds want another left back. That's the main thing. That's what we have to take away from this, right? I like the idea of Chris Richards, but there's a lot of negatives to it as well. Super chats coming in as well. Big up to those that are sending in super chats. I will get to them at one point. Let's do Alex's straight away because it is in relation to Raphinha. We have moved on slightly, but he says Leeds' hands were tied, unfortunately. Rafa only wanted Barca. Players have more power than the selling clubs. Don't sell. They risk losing more value. Exactly right. And player and agents can, you know, arrange the move that they want, right? It's like Calvin. That move was already sorted. I think he did an interview to say that he was contacted by whoever, you know, weeks before the season was even ended. You know, I think it's short-sighted of anyone to think that that doesn't happen. I remember doing the Raphinha stuff in January, March time or February, whenever it was, and people were saying, this isn't true. It's tapping up. That's not allowed. And it's like, well, it does happen. And we spoke to Robin Koch about a year ago. Like, he came to Leeds and did an interview where he said Victor was in regular contact with me. These things happen, right? So, of course, Raphinha has always had his heart set on that. They've always had their heart set on him. And, yeah, it just makes sense. And like you say, we were sort of, yeah, we had no option than to accept. And I think Barca knew that as well, right? Barca would have known that as well. Raphinha, yeah, it is what it is. Draw a line on it. But Alex, thank you so much for your super chat. Listen, I'm not going to get too hung up on the figures that are brought in. Like I said, for me, as long as the club replenish it and put it back into the squad and improve the level of the squad, and up until this point, for me, we've had a great window. We have had a great window. If you then bring in a striker, who we're going to talk about soon, a left back, and an experienced goalkeeper, I think you will struggle to find any Leeds fan that won't be happy with that. Because the only grumblings I see at the minute are, we're not going for a left back, we need an experienced keeper, we need a striker, right? As it's coming out at the minute, it seems to me we're going to do all three. So you can't grumble. You can't grumble. I think it's been a great window. And the club always did tell us that third season, they were going to dip in their pockets. They've probably dipped in more than they'd have liked to, but they know what happened yesterday. Do you know what I mean? We know what happened yesterday. But yeah, right, let's get back to Chris Richards. Let's get back to Chris, put my teeth in, Chris Richards. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. Thank you so much for your super chat, though, Alex. It means a lot, brother. So we know that he's primarily a centre-back, yeah? But he can play left or right back. Now, Leaf's not staying, Jack. Leaf's not staying. And you know what, right? With all due respect, Leaf's not a Premier League left back. Leaf struggled to get into Bournemouth. They didn't take him up on the deal. we needed an improvement on Leif Davis. It's just facts. Yeah, that's my opinion anyway. I might be wrong, right? I might be wrong. You know, you might prove me wrong, but I don't think Leif will be here. But yeah, back to Chris Richards. The thing with him being a centre back is, for me, Chris Richards, the whole thought process of Chris Richards is that he wants to get back into the American setup, right? I believe he's lost his place, right? I believe he's lost his place in the most recent internationals. Fact check that. I may be wrong, right? But he's eager to secure a regular starting place in the USA men's national team, right? Of course, the World Cup is happening in November as well. So Chris Richards will primarily be looking for a move, okay? So there's no smoke without fire. People say it's lazy journalism and that in the chat. I'm not too sure. People said the same about Tyler Adams way back when the Americans mentioned it. And that ended up being true. I think the fact that it's out there makes me think, okay, well, at least we're searching for one, right? We know that Jesse's big. No, so Alex says, no, Richards never lost his place. Okay, so the reports that I'm reading is that he's eager to secure a regular spot. Maybe I'm, again, I asked you to fact check me. I might be wrong. I've just done a bit of research prior to coming on. Richards was out due to injury, not due to form, says Balanoff. Thank you very much. We no doubt we'll have Americans in the chat who'll be able to fact check me. That's why I asked you to do so. Thank you for that, because I wasn't 100% sure myself, right? But from what I've read, it says Richards is eager to secure a regular starting place to help win back his spot. Is that incorrect? Those that have watched USA play, I have a good mind just to check their recent results, and let's check that while we're on there. You know, right? Okay, so Richards got injured, didn't lose his place. Is there now starters ahead of him? The Americans in the chat, I love it. Okay. So we've got a guy here who knows what he's talking. Alex says he will be a starter with Zimmerman at centre back. However, Berhalter's selection is always questionable. At your service says, I'm an American. Let's have a look. All four Adams, Aronson, Richards, no, injury prone and still prospect. He was injured. Right, okay, so SW said, is in the running for a starting spot, not clear right now. Right, okay, so let's go with that, right? I think that seems to be the general consensus, right? Chris Richards' World Cup spot isn't 100% confirmed, yeah? It's not 100% confirmed. You could argue, say, it's not Harry Maguire. I know that's not a great comparison, but we know Harry Maguire is always going to start for England, right? Okay, so it's not 100% signed, sealed, delivered. So Richards will want to move. Now, of course, he had, a decent loan at Hoffenheim last season. Played 34 times across all competitions, scoring 1 goal and assisting another 2. He's got 10 appearances in total for Bayern at senior level, providing 1 assist. But he's gone back to Bayern. You would argue he's not going to start at Bayern, right? He's not going to start at Bayern, okay? So he needs to secure a move away. Now, this is where you pour even more cold water on it for me. Big up Ryan C as well, thank you. If Chris Richards' reasoning for moving is to secure a World Cup starting spot, a World Cup starting spot, then does he come to Leeds United and play left back when we've already got one? And also when he's not needed at left back, will he get a run out at right back or centre back? You would argue no. Right? You would argue no. So the Richards one, although I was excited when I first read the link, when you read between the lines, you can sort of come to the conclusion that even if everything what everyone's saying is true, i.e. he wants to move, he wants to, will he be a regular starter for Leeds United? Can you sell that move to him when there's interest from Southampton and Palace and a host of Spanish clubs? I think the ace in our pack, of course, is Jesse Marsch, is of course the fact that we have Tyler Adams and Brendan Aronson already at the football club. That's got to be a huge pull. People have mentioned in the chat about him playing left of a back 3. Could that be something Jesse would look to do? Potentially. He did it last season, right? He did it last season. So maybe that could be another reason why we go in for him. It's interesting. I like it. I do like the move. The idea of the versatility. He's got tons of potential. He's at a good age again. The versatility is huge as well. Just to play anywhere across there, it solves a lot of problems, right? Solves a lot of problems. And like Michael said, he's minting a back three. He'll not be playing right back or left back. But that's something Jesse will be considering, right? We've just sent Creswell out on loan. For me, I still don't see a place at centre-back, regardless of what you think of our centre-backs, unless Jesse's not keen on the ones we've got. Stroud, Cooper. Cooper's probably his last season. Llorente could move on, not this window, but soon. I think the best thing for me right now as a Leeds fan is to think the fact that we're now hearing stories of left-backs, coming from people who carry weight, right? So it's decent. It's decent. And it's a good start, right? It's a good start. So we'll have to watch this space. He's just still only 22. You know what I mean? He's been at Bayern since 2018. I think he was part of FC Dallas's youth system. He went on trial at Bayern. They took him. I'm right in saying Weston McKennie went through there as well. So they obviously, scour that American market. We know that the MLS is rising up slightly in terms of the quality of it. So yeah, it's one to watch. It's one to watch. Listen, we've got 2 more likes off 200. Please do smash a like on the stream. My apologies, the Wi-Fi's dipping in and out from time to time. I don't know why that is, but yeah. Where's your Love Island bottle? I don't watch Love Island, man, and it wasn't a Love Island bottle. All right. I'm content with Stroud and Koch, Coops and Llorente as rotations. Yeah, same. I've said on a number of occasions, Rari, that we don't need a centre-back. It's the one area of the pitch that I, as a fan, am comfortable with. Yeah, that I am comfortable with. But we do need a left-back. We do need a left-back. You know what I mean? Steve Brown asks, is Fur posted in the UK because he's injured or because of his jab status? We don't know. Nor do we need to know, really. If it is his jab status, that's entirely up to him. I didn't get involved in that. If you want it, have it. If you don't, don't. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean? The club have been pretty good in terms of keeping stuff like that under wraps, maybe even sometimes to our detriment. If you consider when we played Arsenal, etc. last time, you had clubs crying off with COVID, rightly or wrongly. Some of it was suspect. Leeds United played anyway. Leeds United played with like 15-year-olds, man, and got handed to us by Arsenal. Never forget it, So, yeah, Leeds, their medical department are pretty, on the ball with stuff like that, I would say. So even if it is vaccination status, it is what it is, right? But could it be a knock, though, because we were told we weren't getting a left-back. All the stories where we weren't getting a left-back, now we're hearing that we are going in for a left-back. So is it a knock? That's what I mean. You just don't know. People just guessing, right? A lot of the time, that's what we do, right? And you come for my opinion. People come like someone dug me out earlier on. Jimmy Hill with a shorter chin, he said. I don't know what he was saying. I'm always late to the news and all that. I don't know, mate. Listen, I'm sat at home in a box room. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what you think I am. I'm not Fabrizio Romano. Do you know what I mean? You come for my opinion on rumours, right? It's like Connor has a rumour mill. It's rumours. You just give your opinion on that, right? That's all we're doing. I appreciate all the love and support, though, from me to you. Genuinely, it means a lot. Please follow me on Twitch as well before we move on to the next story or the next player we want to talk about. The link to my Twitch is in the description. So please check that out. But we're in for a left back, yeah? Someone's mentioned Zinchenko. Listen, Jack, I would love Zinchenko. He would play in our midfield for me. You know what I mean? I think he's that good. But, I don't think he'll come here, to be fair. But Chris Richards, one to keep our eye on, yeah? One to keep our eye on because of the American link, right? Because of the Jesse Marsh link. Because his boys are in the team. He wants game time. Tim Mason, Twitch, JUSTJOE 1988, but it's in the description if you want to click that. Yeah, so one to keep our eyes on. I think if we can get a left back, it'd be great, right? It would be absolutely great. But let's talk about the striker options. Okay, so we've got two to talk about. They're on the thumbnail. One, of course, is Kalimuendo, the PSG striker. We'll start with him. The thing is with Kalimuendo is there's now more teams coming to the table. I think Cage's title was something along the lines of we need to get it done quick. I go along with that sentiment, right? Because apparently Newcastle, Ajax, and Atalanta have all made inquiries now. I hate to say it, we're a bit way down the pecking order with some of them clubs. I know people don't want to hear it, but Kalimuendo may favour other options. He also may look at Newcastle as somewhere for him to move and really forge out a career. I believe their whole thought process or their strategy in terms of going after Kalimuendo, or at least inquiring about him, is they're looking for a young up-and-coming talent to support Callum Wilson, right? And I said as well just the other day how, CDK, and it's done now, which I'm gutted about, Charles de Ketelara, he looks like he's on his way to Milan. He comes in and he starts for us. He leads the line. He can play off the left, the right, behind the striker, any of it, right? Kalimuendo or Zirkzee or these other names, they're really becoming sort of an understudy. If Bamford's fit, he's going to start ahead of them. If we play with a 4-2-3-1, 4-2-2 that goes into that, I don't see Kalimuendo or Zirkzee starting with Bamford. I think they're more of an understudy, and Newcastle see that as well. I believe, anyway, to come on for a Callum Wilson, and we know how injured he gets. I suppose it's a bit like Bamford, really. Bamford's broken, I think, isn't he? I think, which is sad. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, we've got a watch along on Thursday when we play Brisbane Roar, 10:35, I think it is, British summertime. So I'll be doing that. Leeds Sayer mentions Broja. I'd love it, mate, but again, it's too expensive. Leeds United are not going to be swimming in them circles. The clubs that will be in for him is the likes of West Ham and that. It's not for us, that. The Tati Castellanos stuff, I've seen a lot of people mention that earlier on in the window. I don't think Leeds ever entertained it. In terms of Jonathan David, again, he's another that we were linked with last season. So some of the Americans, we were actually linked with Jonathan David last summer, and he moved to Lille, one of them. And he's the world record. He's the highest transfer fee from the Belgian Jupiler League. And like Ray says, he wants Champions League football. Yeah, these sort of players are out of our price range. We were linked with them previously. We ended up getting Jean-Kevin Augustin. We know how that worked out. Yeah. So yeah, there has been a few players that we've missed out on. You've just to look at your man Joseph Guardiol, who looks like he might be on his way to City. We were nearly there. There's so many. Mateus Cunha, Rodrigo De Paul, that if they come into our football club, we're on a different kettle of fish. Jack says, apparently Harrison trained at left back today. It's an option, isn't it? Left wing back. Apparently Phil Hayes just tweeted about Raf as well. Let's see what Phil's saying, because he'll have it in pounds. Not... he's tweeted about the photograph. Oh, no. Right, okay. Phil here. Raphinha to Barcelona is very much in the end game now. We'll please all sides to get it wrapped up. Leeds, not least. Protracted and very complex negotiations, but had to find a way in the absence of him saying yes to Chelsea. Talks ongoing in Milan are very optimistic when it comes to De Ketelara. So that's them two done now, isn't it? That's them two done. Yeah, it is what it is. This is what I'm saying, though. Fabrizio tweeted that out a while back, so just remember that fact. Theo, come on now. Theo, that's terrible. Look at this. Come on now. Look at this from Theo. What? Come on now. Terrible effort, mate. Terrible effort. So Kalimuendo, right? Leeds, Newcastle, Ajax, Atalanta, a couple of Spanish clubs have all made inquiries to PSG about Kalimuendo. Jesse Marsh wants a striker. It's not going to be Charles de Ketelara. He's going to be moving to Milan. Gutted. but Kalimuendo would be a bargain at just £20 million. They are open to a sale. He's technically gifted and always seems to find space. Yeah, he scored 13 times on loan at Lens. He's been there for 2 seasons, made quite the name for himself. So that's 21 goals in 2 seasons in total with the French outfit. He's scored goals at under 21 level. I think he's been at the France international setup 16, 17, 18, 19, 21. You know, he's a kid with a future. We were speaking just the other day, you know, about option of him and Decatur Lara. And unfortunately, Decatur Lara's out of the picture now, so we can just forget about that one. So I think we need to make moves on Kalimuendo, but it looks like there's going to be competition there. It does look like there's going to be competition there. But that's the next most important thing for us, is getting that striker, right? Is getting that striker. Now, another one that's been linked is, of course, Joshua Zirkzee, Dutch professional footballer, plays as a forward for Bundesliga club Bayern Munich, was on loan at Anderlecht last season, played 38 games, got 16 goals, and without doubt is a great young talent. Just a bit of a backstory on him. Don't know much about Zirkzee. Done a little bit of research. Burst on the scene, you could argue, at Bayern Munich. Announced himself in the 2019-20 season, and he scored in the 92nd minute to give Bayern the lead in a 3-1 win against Freiburg. He then scored again against Wolfsburg in the following game. He also scored in the 6-0 win against Hoffenheim and helped Bayern move an inch closer to the league title by scoring in a 2-1 victory over Borussia Mönchengladbach. This was back in the 1920 season. And people started to make the link between him and Lewandowski, saying that he could be the next. Not Lewandowski, but when Lewandowski moves on, we have a young lad there. Don't forget, he's only 21, 1920. You know, he was younger and he was scoring goals for Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga. Obviously, they sent him out on loan to Parma. I think he got injured while he was out on loan in Parma, but he only made like 4 appearances. It was a bit of a nightmare situation for him, and I think the 4 appearances that he did make came off the bench as well. But then last season, he spent it on loan at Anderlecht and thrived under the now Burnley coach, Vincent Kompany. So did really, really well. Like I say, he played 38 games for Anderlecht and scored 16 goals. Now, there are people that know more about this player than me. One specifically, Josh Hobbs, from All Stats, aren't we? Great knowledge. He said basically the signing is potentially excellent. His potential is excellent, right? Not CDK level right now. And he thinks he'd come in as backup, a bit like Kalimuendo, perhaps. But if bought on a permanent, he has the opportunity to then obviously usurp Bamford in the pecking order, you know what I mean, and end up being the main guy. So I guess, look, it's exciting that Leeds United are after this profile of player in terms of age, resale value, etc., right? I think it's really exciting, but in terms of what that means right here, right now, can Zirkzee make an instant impact? I'm not too sure. I look at Kalimuendo, and although he'd be an understudy to Bamford, I still think he's a little bit further on in his development. But then again, I mean, Zirkzee scored goals when he was at Bayern. You know what I mean? When he first burst onto the scene. So there's obviously a player there for sure. Didn't have it. I think I was doing some reading. So he went back after the Parma loan, or it might have been pre-season, and they were playing Ajax. And he went to walk the ball into the net rather than just put it in, and he just walked alongside it. And the Ajax defender actually came back and managed to clear it off the line. And whether or not that made the relationship sour, I'm not too sure. And then he was sent out on loan, you see, to Parma. I think it went in that order anyway. Didn't have a great time at Parma. Then went to Anderlecht, where your man Vincent Kompany was managing at the time. Boom. Does well. 16 goals, 38 games. He's now obviously probably wants to move on from Bayern, right? Probably wants to move on from Bayern. So listen, over 700 people in the chat, which is great. So if you haven't already, please do smash a like on the video. That'd be great. So again, it's a new name linked, right? It's a new name linked to Zirkzee. Again, the source, I mean, it's not one that I would look at and say, yeah, boom, This is the one. I think I'm more confident, and this might sound mad because everything makes me think it wouldn't make sense, is the Chris Richards one, just because it's come from Ben Jacobs, even if it is just like a passing comment. You know, there was the journalist Tom Bogart who made the passing comment about Tyler Adams and said there'd be loads of clubs in for him. I don't see it happening, but boom. Then what happens? Tyler Adams comes to Leeds. Ben Jacobs, he's not just plucked that name out of the air. There's a reason why that name's there. So I'd argue I'm more trusting of that Chris Richards one than I am of the Joshua Zirkzee one. But the Zirkzee one makes sense as well in terms of the profile of player Leeds United are looking at. Of course, CDK is a special talent. The mad thing is, it's a bit of a scattergun approach, you could argue, because I don't see, and again, there's people don't know more about football than me, but if you compare Kalimuendo, again, I don't know an awful lot about Zirkzee, but Kalimuendo, Zirkzee, CDK and Eddie Nketiah, they're not in the same wheelhouse, are they? They're not doing the same things. So it's interesting to see that sort of scattergun approach as to what Leeds United are looking at. They just know that they need a striker, right? They know that they need a striker. Banjak said Zirkzee is the Dutch Tyler Roberts. Don't say that. Imagine. This is the thing, though. That's a risk you take, right? That's a risk you take. I think Kalimuendo is a better option for me personally, because we're not getting CDK, unfortunately. So we need to move on, right? So we'll have to wait and see who that is. Chris Richards, I like, but I think we need to be in a position where we buy a left back that's a left back, a specialised player, not a centre back that can. And listen, if the reports are saying he wants to nail down his position with the USA men's national side, then he needs game time. And if Firpo's fit, Rasmus is fit, and our centre backs are fit, Richards is sitting on the bench. So that's the thing. We'll have to wait and see on that. But I just like the fact that we're in for a left back. Zirkzee, Kalimuendo. You know, for me, it'd be Kalimuendo. But again, I've seen people that know a lot more about the game than me. Like I say, that's saying, you know, wonder kid Zirkzee. So we'll have to wait and see. People are getting excited by the link to Zirkzee. So yeah, it's a licorice also. It is a lot of if, buts, and maybes. But this is what I'm saying. That's what they say. You come from my opinion. I don't. You know, there are some scenarios where you're like, yeah, okay, I know. You can read between the lines like we did with the Tyler Adams one. You know, we read it. You could see that was really the main guy, the main pick. This one, we're clutching. But the thing with Kalimuendo, what I will say is, right, forget about Mertens. Look, Leeds United will not be in for Dries Mertens. And if they do, I think it's wrong, for me personally. The guy will be on mega money. He's too old. We've tried that. Look at Rodrigo. We tried it. This is the correct profile of player. This is the correct type of player. This is the correct type of profile of player we need. Look at the ages of all the players we've brought in. They're all like 23, 22, 21, 18, 25. Might be. How old? Matt Rocker's probably the oldest, right? How old's Matt Rocker? Matt Rocker's 25, the oldest, yeah? Mertens. Let's have a look at Dries Mertens. How old is he? 35, man. Nah. You don't need no 35-year-olds. Do you know what I mean? So for me, you know, the oldest player we've brought in is Matt Rocker at 25. These guys have got their peaks still to hit. They're going to improve. They might get to a stage where they leave Leeds United, but we're going to make money on them. Someone like Chris Richards, even if they came in, let's say if we brought in Richards, Kalimuendo and Zirkzee, they're all a fantastic age. They all are at an age where they will improve and get better in the best league in the world. And guess what happens then? Yeah. They then move on. You know what I mean? Diaz says, you're saying Bamford is broken, but nothing is suggesting that, mate. Check out Graham Smith's article today. I have got it in my notifications. I haven't read it yet, but he says all seems positive, just taking caution. All we heard, bro, was positives last season. They're not going to come out and say, yeah, I'm broken. Do you know what I mean? I think You know, we were led to believe that Bamford was going to come back. He never came back. Do you know what I mean? So we need to wait and see. He's played one game in pre-season and then broke down. The fact that they're having to take precautionary measures is all you need to know. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. They're having to take precautionary measures like he's Ledley King. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, and for those that are saying we need experience, we have that though. We have experience. We do have experience within the squad. You know, we do have experience within the squad. We have a lot of internationals within the squad. We have, you know, elder statesmen within the squad, Dallas, Cooper. These are experienced pros. So we have experience. We don't need to be bringing in Dries Mertens as a champagne signing at 35-year-old that's probably, you know, half broken. It's just no. I think, again, that's the Hollywood. Look, we've signed Dries Mertens. No, not for me. We're doing the right things. We're doing the right things in terms of the players that we're looking at, the players that we're being linked with. You know, Alexander Isak. Oh man, he's a baller. If Newcastle get him, that's some move, by the way, because apparently Newcastle are looking at him. Look, the big stories. Raphinha's gone. Yeah, gone. Right. Here we go. He's gone. The Euros price isn't great, but it is what it is. We move. Done talking about Raphinha. I hope he has a great time in Barcelona. Anyone who wants to throw shade at him, by the way, remember that if he weren't here, we wouldn't be in the Premier League. You need to remember that. You need to remember that because he did. Those that questioned his mentality and all that, nah, it couldn't be further from the truth. We've seen that on the day when he was kneeling, praying. He prayed for it. He prayed that Leeds United stayed up when he could have gone down and already been at Barca for like 24 million. He prayed for that, and that's why he thanked the big on Catholicism in Brazil. That's why he did the old kneels across the pitch, thanking. Yeah. So he prayed that Leeds United stayed in the division. So we can't say that he didn't matter, you know. So he goes with my blessing. I hope he has a great time. We then spoke about Chris Richards. Again, I rate Chris Richards, just like Johnny B. Good says. I like the idea of the signing. He's a great age. He gives you versatility. He can play centre-back, left-back, right-back. Yeah, he's played at Bayern. He's had a great time out on loan. I believe he wants to cement his place in the USA men's national team. Can we give him the required game time? Maybe not, right? But it's the fact that Leeds United are in for a left-back that piques my interest. Happy days with that. With then obviously Kalimuendo, the fact that previously these links to Kalimuendo were a bit all over the shop in terms of credible sources. Ben Jacobs has come out and confirmed that fact tonight. Ben Jacobs was the one where I said the Raphinha deal was done. Much like Fab, he's got a lot right. Yeah. So for me, Ben Jacobs, the fact that he's now making that link between us and Kalimuendo means it's further down the road. And what I will say for Leeds United fans, the next few days will be rapid because money will be hitting the bank. Money will be hitting the bank. So keep your finger on the pulse, get your notifications on, because what will happen is, like we've seen with Calvin, boom, like a starting gun, bang, things will start to move. Leeds United will start putting bids on the table. Looks like CDK is dead in the water, but Kalimuendo and Leeds need to act fast because in waiting, Newcastle and all these other clubs are starting to circle around. If Newcastle can't get Alexander Isak, which of course that would be the preferred option, would they then come for Kalimuendo? We know that Chris Wood's not going to be the guy. Callum Wilson broken as well. Do you know what I mean? So the fact that Newcastle, Ajax, even Atalanta, Ajax could be more appealing to Kalimuendo. But Leeds United need to not mess about. As soon as that bank hits, you know, that money hits the bank at midnight tonight or whenever it is, put the bid in. 20 million, there you go. You've still got some left over for your left back. You know, you've still got, you know, I think the experienced goalkeeper, you won't even need a transfer fee. It'll just be a wage. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, Kalimuendo, we need to act fast. We've also been linked to Joshua Zirkzee, Dutch professional footballer. Again, maybe he could be an additional. I don't know what his transfer fee would bring in. I mean, let's have a look what it's saying on Transfermarkt for Zirkzee. 9.9 million. Bayern Munich would detect, I don't know, maybe on maybe less than that. I'm not too sure. Yeah, Jared Fletcher asked the question. Didn't really want to discuss it, but we will. He says, Rodrigo to that team, rumour, your thoughts. Listen, I won't speak on them, just my opinion. Refuse to do it. But in terms of Rodrigo, if a suitable bid was made for Rodrigo, then, I would move him on. And we had an opportunity to sell him to Barca a couple of seasons ago, maybe last January, in fact, but we kept on to him. I just don't see how Rodrigo fits. He's looking like he's really enjoying himself at the minute in terms of, on the socials and that. And we've seen Jesse try the tactic of, building him up. And that didn't work. We made him part of the leadership squad. I don't know. Listen, I hope Rodrigo has a standout season, but I just don't see how he fits. And does he start? He's going to struggle to start. So if a club in Europe is offering him a starting berth, then he'll probably want the move. Do you know what I mean? Then he'll probably want the move. So, I don't mind Rodrigo going. I don't see how he gets game time. And when he does, he's not great. I mean, he's not starting up top. He's not starting behind Bamford because that would probably be Aronson. It could be, it could be a new striker potentially. It could be Joffy, Greenwood. You've then got Harrison. You've then got James. You've got Tyler Adams. You've got Mark Rocker. I just don't see where Rodrigo fits. Would you miss him? You've got Click, you've got Bate, you've got Forshaw. Would you miss him? Probably not. So if a decent fee can come in, because let's not forget, Rodrigo will be on big money as well. I'd argue Rodrigo's the highest paid player in this setup. Would you move him on? Yeah, I would. If the bid came in, I think Leeds United would, to be honest. Terrible record signing, really, when you consider it 27 mil. Terrible. I don't think we'll break it this window either. We would have done if we'd have been in for Charles de Ketelaere. If we could have got that done at like 30 million. But I don't see how we break it this time because I think we'll go. Patrick says you can't sell all good bench players. It's not all. It's one, Patrick. It's one, man. And let's be honest, what's Rodrigo shown us? Apart from against teams in the bottom three. And he's not really showed us anything. Don't get me wrong, I'm not actively trying to sell Rodrigo. Leave him for me. But I was asked the question, if a bid came in, would you accept? If it was decent, yeah, I would. Yeah. That would be my answer to that question. But again, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like with anything, you're not actively selling. I know this mad comparison, but on my FIFA career mode on Twitch, I'm not actively looking to sell some of them. But if someone puts a bid in, I'll go, right, okay, can I reinvest that and buy some more players? Yeah, I kind of will do. Do you know what I mean? I know it sounds daft. It's the same with Football Manager. I don't want to sell him, but they're offering me that and I could buy him and him. Yeah. So Leeds United might look at that and say, if they want to take him, is he starting? No. Will we miss an awful lot? No. Is he on a big wage? Yes. Could we reuse that transfer fee and wage to move somewhere else? Because it's clear the tactic from Leeds United has changed. We're now looking at young up-and-coming talent. Rodrigo's not that. This could be the last time to sell Rodrigo and replenish a decent fee because he's not getting any younger and he's not improving while he's at Leeds. Yes, Yorkshire Tanky, you know the score. It was good, that, wasn't it? So, yeah. There's my thoughts. What do you think's happened with Costa? He's got the super agent, and so he'll find a club. Don't worry about that. Would I say yes to Chris Richards? Yes, I would. I would if he wanted to move. Okay, I'd prefer an actual left back, but I'd like him. He can play anywhere. Kalimuendo would be the pick for me. Keep your eyes on the Zirkzee one. More will come out about him as an individual and as a player over the coming days, I'm sure, when loads of player profiles get done on him, right? And I can give you some more meat on the bones because I've not watched an awful lot, if any at all. I'm lying to you. I don't even know who he was. Didn't know who he was 5 minutes ago. But yeah, thank you as always for watching my channel. I love you, okay? We've had some crazy numbers. It wasn't until last night I seen Connor tweet out that they'd had like 31,300,000 views in the last 90 days. So I thought I'd check. I'd had 1 million, folks. I'd had 1 million. Over the last 90 days, 1 million people have watched this channel. That is insane, right? So from me to you, genuinely, thank you so much for all your continued support. Over 700 viewers tonight. Amazing support. Again, what I will say, now that Raphinha's gone, yeah, and the money's coming in, watch over the next few days. It's going to be fast-paced. It's going to be quick. We're going to get news, yeah? Thank you to all the new subscribers as well. You're picking up on the CDK pronunciation as well, yeah. Charles de Ketelara. The only issue is he's not coming now, so I'm not bothered. I'm going to start calling him Charlie de Ketelara. Oh, Charlie de Ketelara. That's what he'd been called in Ellen Road by some Yorkshire folk, I tell you. Yeah. He's a good player, that Charlie de Ketelara, isn't he? He's got a decent shot on him, Charlie de Ketelara. Anyway, thank you as always for watching the Just Joe Football Show. Keep your eyes peeled, notifications on. Follow me on Twitch, yeah? Follow me on Twitch. I'll be twitching tomorrow at some point. But thank you as always. International, baby. We love it. Thank you, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace out. Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. Shaz de Ketelara.